Good morning, all you fantastic fours out there. Lovely to have you with us again today. Let's jump right into the maths. Just a reminder, any questions, you know the drill, email me grade4@worksheetcloud.com. Also, if you ever come across an answer that you think is incorrect, some parents have let me know I made one or two mistakes in my memos, and you should never, if you've checked your own workings, you should always be confident in yourself. And if you're unsure, email me, check. It's possible that I made a mistake on that as well. And then after the lesson, click on the link above, do the worksheet, make sure you've understood what it is that we're doing. In the next slide, we have today's mental arithmetic challenge. Remember, I give you 40 seconds. There are 10 questions. It's good practice. Write it down. So if you need a pencil and paper, go get one quickly. Your 40 seconds start now. Halfway done. And stop. So you had 40 seconds, 4 seconds per problem. These are things that should happen in your head. Hopefully we'll get to be quicker than that. Hopefully you finished with time to spare. But if not, remember that getting things right is more important than getting through them really super fast. It's better to get 5 right having only done 5 than to only get 3 right and 7 wrong because you rushed. Okay, let's go through them. 8 plus 9 is 17. 9 plus 8 is also 17. You'll notice that all of them are in pairs like that. And I know we've done this rule that you can change the order for addition and you'll still get the same answer. I'm just reinforcing that rule while we're doing mental arithmetic. So 1 and 2, both 17. 7 plus 5 is 12. 5 plus 7 is also 12. So 3 and 4 are both 12. 6 plus 8 is 14. 8 plus 6 is also 14. So 5 and 6 are 14. 7 plus 8 is 11. 7. Question 7. 3 plus 8 is 11. 8 plus 3 is 11. So 7 and 8 are both 11. And for question 9, 6 plus 7 is 13. And 7 plus 6 is also 13. So 9 and 10 are both 13. Nothing particular behind the theme of dinosaurs in the background. It just happened to come across the template with the dinosaurs in the background, and so I think I should slip in a couple of jokes. We've got enough time. What do you call a blind dinosaur? I don't think he saw us. And what do you call the blind dinosaur's dog? I don't think he saw us, Rex. Anyway, moving swiftly on to today's lessons. Last lesson we looked at expressing numbers differently, and we looked at the normal way, which is called standard notation, or in numerals, or digits. And then we also looked at when we did it in words, which, as it says, is in words. So today we're going to look at those as well and reinforce those. And then we're going to look at a new one, which is called expanded notation, which again is just a different way of writing it. Sometimes we need it when we're working things out. I'm Mr. Travis, in case you didn't know. If you didn't know, where have you been sleeping? What have you been doing for all these other lessons? And also, if you didn't know me from the previous lesson, I suggest you watch the previous video before you do this one. Okay. Lesson goals for today. We are going to recap and confirm our understanding of expressing numbers as words and numerals. That's from last lesson. We are going to be able to express numbers in expanded notation. That's what we're learning this time. And this was actually something I slipped in at the end of the homework, but be able to create the biggest or smallest possible number given a set of digits. So if I give you a bunch of numbers, you've got to put them together to make the biggest one and the smallest one. And that's hopefully something you'll be able to do comfortably by the end of the lesson. So why do we have place value? This relates to that thing at the end, but I thought I'd just quickly stop back and ask, because what we're working with these families, the units, the tens, the hundreds, 10,000s, or thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, millions, 10 millions, 100 millions, trillions, 10 trillions, 100 trillions, and so on. And there are more. Why do we have these different place values? And the reason is because we only have actually 10 different numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 0. And we've got to use those 10 digits to make any number that we can think of. And that's actually why we have place value, because we only have 10 digits and we've got more numbers than that to represent. Okay, let's do homework revision as a way of recapping what we were doing in the last lesson. If you have marked it, that's great. It's still useful to look through and see what we're doing. I'm going to use the same colors as last time, but it's not really all that critical. So we needed to write these as a numeral. So the question 1 is going from words into numbers, into numerals, into standard notation. So we're going to look at the 1,000 family. So if thousands is our biggest, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my thousands fam. Oh, that was, sorry, purple I think was my millions family. So I'm going to go with thousands family, 1, 2, 3, and my units family, 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to put in all the placeholders, even though I might not use all of them, just because that's how we practice doing it, and it helps us not miss anything out. So looking at the green is our thousands family, and we have 23,000. So just looking at the number in front of the word thousand, 23. So put in our 23 over there. Let's see what's in our units family. 263. So just looking at the units, I can write 263. There we go. There's our answer, 23,263. You don't need to worry about the fact that there's there. It just means there's no 100,000s. We just don't write the naught in the front. It wouldn't make sense. Looking at B, I'm just going to write them all down. So looking at B, I'm going to start with looking at the 1,000 family, which means we're going to have to, if thousands is our biggest, I'm going to draw my thousands family and my units family, and let's fill in as we have. So 498,000. So 498 is the number that goes in the thousands family, 498. Then looking at my units family, 517, 517, and my units, there we go, there's our answer. Looking at C, I have 13 million. So if millions is my biggest, I'm going to draw my millions family, my thousands family, and my units family. Starting with my million, let's look. We have 13 before the word million, so 13 in the millions family. 602 in the thousands family, 602. 500, oh, just 500 in this. So 500, we write like that. There we go. That's C. In D, we also have the millions family as our biggest, so we're going to draw the millions and the thousands and the units families in, and then we're going to fill them in as we have. So I see that we have 8 million, so 8 million. We have nothing in the thousands family. The next thing we have is 6. So 6 is in our units family. And all of the rest of the spaces, we've got to put something in there. We've just got to put a placeholder, something that prevents the numbers from sliding together to be 86. And there we go, 8 million and 6. Question 2 asked us to write it as words. This is going to take a little longer, so I'm going to, I'll talk you through it, and then I'll quickly pause the video and write them out. Okay, so looking at the first one, 2a, the biggest we have is we have our thousands family, and we have our units family. So our thousands family, we say 63. And the word thousand. Then we put a comma because that's the end of our family. And after that we have 672. There we go. All right, so with the others, what I'm going to do is I'm going to underline the families, and then I'm going to write it out and you can check. That's for B and C. So in B, I have in my hundreds family, sorry, my thousands family, and in my units family. In C, I also have in my thousands family and my units family. But in D, I have in my millions family, my thousands family, and my units family. Okay, you can see on the right, if we look there, if we looked at B, and I just looked at the 3 digits above the green line, it's 513. So that's in the thousands family. So what I do is I say that number, 513, and then I put the family name afterwards. So 513,000, 448. And the same with C. I look at the number above the green line, 409,000, because it's in the thousands family. So 409,013. And then D, which I'm going to do with you because it's a bigger number, I take the first bit, it's in the millions family, so 73. Then I give the family name, million, and then a comma, 436. And then I give the family name, so 1,000, 436,000, and then a comma, and finally my units, and 1. Because it's just 1 in the units family. Okay, let's look quickly at 3 and 4. So 3, I've been given these digits. I'm not going to do this in words, I'm just going to do it in digits. You can check the memo for words. All right, but if I look at that, and this is where the place value comes in, the higher the place value, the more it's worth. So we want to put the biggest numbers in the things that are worth more. So we did put them with 9 in the 10,000s, so 8 in the thousands, 7 in the hundreds, 5 in the tens, and 4 in the units. And so that is the biggest possible number you can make with those 4 digits. You would write that out as 98,754. And the smallest you can make is we organize it from smallest to biggest. So the biggest place value has the smallest number, smallest place value has the biggest number. So 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 45,789. Okay, I wrote it all out again just so that we can remind ourselves of the 3 families. We've been practicing this, so it shouldn't be necessary for me to go through it. But when we're saying it, we read this number as though it was all on its own. So 324, and then we give the family name 324 million. Over here we look at the thousands, so 681,000, and over here the units, 541. Okay, and after millions, we get billions and then trillions and so on. And in fact, we even get smaller ones, and that's moving into decimals. But that you don't do until grade 6. So now on to expanded notation. Expanded notation is really just where we break things up into place value groups. So I've given you the number there, 12,374,884. And I want to break it up. And really all we do is we break it up into pieces. So we've got the 10 million on its own, plus the 2 million, plus the 300,000, plus the 70,000, plus the 4,000, plus the 800, plus the 80, plus the 4. All right, so we've broken it down into the different family groupings so that you can see the place value. And what we're going to learn now is how to go from the whole number, or the standard notation, to expanded notation, and how also to go from expanded back to standard. Going from this to this is quite straightforward. Oopsie. And going the other way around, sometimes there's a mistake to be made, or a mistake to be avoided. Let me put it that way. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at going from standard, which is numerals, numbers, to expanded. Expanded means getting bigger. So really all we're doing is making this number, writing it in a bigger way. I'm going to start with the number 635,821. I leave a slight gap in between every 3 just to show my families. Often you will find that there isn't a gap and it's just like that. Right, so this is quite straightforward. Over here, that's my biggest value. I have a 6. So I'm going to put a 6. And for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces afterwards, placeholders, I'm going to put zeros. So there's my 600,000. Then I've got a 3 and 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. Then I've got a 5 with 1, 2, 3 zeros. Then I've got an 8 with 1, 2 zeros. Then I've got a 2 with 1 0. And finally, I've just got a 1. And that's it in a nutshell. Just breaking it up and putting it out like that. Now, in the second number I've chosen, you'll notice I've got a 0. Because what do we do when there's a 0? So let's have a look. 1,305,238. Start with the biggest. We've got a 1 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces after it. Then we've got a 3 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we have a, then we have a 0. Now you could say we have a 0 with 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces afterwards. But that's still 0 because you've got 0 units and 0 of everything else. So in fact, it doesn't really mean anything. It's just like saying add 0, which is still not going to make a difference. So we skip over that one. And we go to the next one and we say there's a 5 with 1, 2, 3 spaces. And then the next one is a 2 with 1, 2 spaces. Or 2 zeros. And then we have a 3 with 1 and an 8. So that's how we cope with a 0. In the third example, I've now done it with quite a lot more zeros. So 6, 6, 0, 0, 0, 0. And let's put this one into expanded notation. So we have 6 with 6 zeros. The next significant number we have is a 5. When I say significant number, I mean not a 0. And it's got 2 spaces. And the next significant number we have is a 1. And so that is 6,501,000 in expanded notation. Not particularly difficult. All right, I feel we need to move forward. So this time we're going to go from expanded back into back into standard notation. So I'm just going to pause the video while I write all of these out. It'll take me a little while. Right, so this time we're going from expanded notation back into standard notation. So I'm going to start off by looking at my biggest value, which will always be the one that comes first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put down my 7, and then I'm going to make a placeholder for each of the spaces afterwards. Now, the first one you might not understand why I put the placeholders, but when we get to the second and the third one, you'll see there's a reason for it. So I'm going to count how many zeros I've got there. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to make 7 space holders after the 7. Okay, let's have a look at my next number. All right, so there's my next number. What I'm going to look to do is to find out which space that significant number should be in. So if I count here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's in the 7th place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's there. Now I'm going to go to the next number. Looking at my significant number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's in the 6th place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Knew I was going to do that. All right, so that's where it needs to go. Looking at the next one, significant number, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the 5th place. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the 5th place. Going to my next digit or my next number, 3,000. Significant number is in the 1, 2, 3, 4th place. 1, 2, 3, 4th place. There we go. One, 2, 3 in the 3rd place. There we go. In the 2nd place. And in the 1st place. And there we go. There is our number gone from expanded notation into standard form. All right, the next one. And this is why we need to make sure that we put things in the right order. Sorry, why we put the placeholders in. Okay, so looking at our first number. First digit is a 1, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 spaces again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's look at our significant one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the 6th place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the 6th place. So in the one above, we always went to the next spot along the line, but here we've skipped a spot. We'll come back to that spot at the end. Next, I have a 3 in the 3rd place. 1, 2, 3. Then I have a 5 in the 2nd place and a 2 in the last place. And really what this is showing is, and you'll remember when we were doing ones like, which I showed you in the second one, where we had the 0 and we didn't write anything for the 0. This is what happens when we're going the other way, when we've got those zeros. So the rest of the spaces that we have open, we now put zeros into. So there's our number written in expanded notation. In standard form. Right, last one. I know we haven't had much time to practice in this lesson, so you'll have to do the worksheet to practice this. It's been more of a demonstration lesson, but let's do the last one. So we look at the number. We have an 8 with 6 spaces after. The next one, it's a 5 in the 6th place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the 6th place. So there was no space there. We have a 6 in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th space. So still no spaces. We have a 2 in the 3rd space. There we go. So now we do have a space. We have a 1 in the second space. And finally, we have a 3 in the last space. What remains is we just need to put the placeholders in so that they don't give you the wrong number. And there we have now put this number into standard form from expanded notation. So I hope with those 3 demonstration ones going either direction, you'll be able to manage that. I did just want to touch on something that was homework last week, and there is another one of those in this week's work. And that is when we've got digits and we're asked to make the biggest number. So biggest number. So let's say we've got 2, 4, 5, 6, 5, 8. And we want to make the biggest number. So we have 8 different numbers, so we're going to have 8 digits in our answer. All right, well, units is the smallest of the different places that we've learned about so far. So let's have a look at the units, and let's put the smallest number in the units. So our smallest number is 2, and we're going to cross them out and put it over there. Tens is our next smallest, so let's put our next smallest digit there. So this one happens to be 4. Let's put a 4 there. I am in the habit of crossing them out as I go, so I know which ones I have used and which ones I haven't, so I don't end up making a mistake and leaving any out. Okay, next up I have my hundreds spot, so I'm going for my next smallest. I have 2 that are the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in the next 2 spaces, and then I'm going to move on to 6 and 8. And because this, which is our 100,000s, is the biggest, we want to put our biggest number over there. So to make the biggest number, we start with the biggest. To make the smallest number, we start with the smallest. So I'm going to use those same digits. 2, 4, 5, 6, 5, 8. So for this, we want to start with so we're going to have 6 digits. We want to start with the smallest or end with the biggest. Doesn't matter which way you work. So let's end with the biggest. There we've made the smallest number from those. I hope that's making sense. I hope you're able to represent these numbers in different ways. It is one of those things that takes time, particularly when you've got to write things out. You might have to go from words to expanded notation. You might need to go from expanded notation to words. For both of those, it might just be easiest to first write it in standard notation before you go to the other step. That's my advice anyway. I think I should finish with another joke. What does a triceratops sit on? Its tricerabottom. That was a terrible joke. I know that all of my class would be rolling their eyes at me right now. That is where we're going to finish up today. Grade 4s, it's been lovely having you with me. Please remember, if you have any questions, email me, grade4@worksheetcloud.com. Please don't email me any dinosaur jokes. I have far too many stored up in my brain. And afterwards, please, because we haven't had much time to practice this lesson, click on the link above to do the worksheet and just make sure that you have mastered how we can express words in different forms. Have a fantastic day, grade 4s. Goodbye.